Kani kadai ke Batisi TV, bat pidang pet ya ke kubur baman kasni, belawan rasha pi tak ke rupa, ringkat bat ke Orange Nissan, lom sokpo near Fire Brigade Shillong.
New Nissan Kicks. Bookings open now.
Bat kawai pat kadai halor ke jingmi kubur, kakot kubur nok sanjima, haka laipway terek unailar, menta osnam arjakat kendai. Kabaran ke jing tho nak kle jong ke kubur, kabaong menta on penmi ke Sarkar Assam, ye ketop kerteng jong ka NRC.
Deputy Speaker, sir, I thank you for allowing me to raise this important issue. This time about the fallout in our state through the implementation of NRC in Assam recently. So on one side we can think that why we will talk about the NRC, which is being implemented in Assam. It is all over different state. Why we will talk here. But it has a serious implication to our state, and the fallout of this exercise is dangerous to the ethnicity of our beautiful state, because there is a threat to our state, because those left out in the NRC list conducted in Assam, they might infiltrate into our state for survival, because Meghalaya share a long interstate boundary with Assam. So there is a serious threat to our state. So the process of National Register of Citizen, NRC, has been prepared to identify the Indian citizen living in Assam since March 24, 1971 or before that. This exercise started in 2015 under the supervision of the Honorable Supreme Court. This is in compliance with the Assam Accord signed in 1985 between Government of India, Government of Assam, All Assam Student Union, and beside other NGOs. Out of 3.3 crore applicants last year, on 30th July 2018, the first draft was published, where around 40 lakh were excluded from the list. That time where there were a total chaos all around our state, where state machinery were on alert. Even NGOs have started checking many vehicles on the way towards our state. So on 31st August 2019, the final draft has been released, published on NRC in Assam, came out, where out of 3.3 crore, only 3.1 crore were figured in the list, where more than 19 lakh were excluded from the list. Again, sir, there is chaos all over the state, and there are fear that all this, among this 19 lakh, will infiltrate into our state, even though 120 days have been given to those left out to appear before the foreigner tribunals. The bottom line here is that how do we protect from this unexpected infiltration of those left out? What our state will do, what all of us will do together, that is a million-dollar question. I would like to urge and sincerely request the government of the day to take serious note on this matter. However, we have seen the statement from the government, from the Honorable Chief Minister, that steps has been taken where respective Deputy Commissioner, Superintendent of Police of the bordering state were being directed to take stock and to be vigilant on the movement in the borders. Sir, only that wouldn't do. We need a collective effort of all the 60 MLAs, government missionaries, NGOs, local headmen, the Doloi, the Nokma, women organization, youth organization, etc. We have seen NGO in our state, they have been very proactive in this issue. It's good that we have to work together for this issue. Border area, sir, it has to be deployed with security forces and to check the activities day and night. I know it is very tough for the government, but we have no way out other than to be precaution before it will be too late. Sir, we want to know that from the state government that what are the concrete steps taken by the government or to be taken by the government in future so that the fallout from NRC won't have such impact in our state. So another aspect of this fallout is that so many genuine tribal and non-tribal women from Garo Hills who got married in Assam were left out, especially from the plain belt of Garo Hills. We have seen statement in newspaper. Our colleague Dr. Azad Jaman, MLA of Rajabala, Mr. Mominin, MLA from Fulbari, they have raised their concern about those left out who have been the genuine citizen of our state and our country. So here we are talking about a genuine citizen who are born and brought up right from their forefathers. So those persons, after giving, we are learned that after giving relevant document to the government of Assam, to those who do the exercise, countersigned by the government of Meghalaya official, those documents also, they have been rejected and they have become stateless overnight. So we have to stand together with them collectively. Please look into the matter so that they can be included into the list so that they will not face any problem later as a genuine citizen. So another aspect of this fallout, I am of the opinion that our state Meghalaya also, we have to undergo this kind of exercise so that we can identify our genuine citizen of our state. But so I would like to put forward my humble suggestion that before NRC, the process of NPR, National Population Register, has to be in place. The NPR register the population of the state, which include both permanent and bona fide resident and temporary resident like students, employee, and other who may or may not be resident of the state. So if this is not followed, then a serious problem which has been occurred in Assam recently will occur here, where many genuine citizens were left out. Now even the ruling government in Assam also, they are not in favor of this exercise, and they are trying to do a re-verification of this whole exercise, especially on those bordering states with Bangladesh. So we have seen NGO like the Northeast Student Organization, the Khasi Student Union, beside others, NGO and others, they are in favor of this exercise. We thank them. As I have said before, we have to work together with all the stakeholders, with the villages, with the headmen, with the Nokma, with the Dolois, with all the stakeholders. We have to work together so that this exercise will be a fruitful one. For this cause, we will work together, sir, together by putting our head together across party line. So there should be no politics on this issue. This is a very serious issue that our state has to be prepared, and this issue that we'll have to move ahead with sincerity all together. Thank you, sir, for allowing me to raise this issue, and I will resume my seat. Thank you so much.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, a good number of women from Meghalaya, including tribals and non-tribals, are settled in Assam after their marriage. When NRC updation was started, it was determined by Honorable Supreme Court that to prove citizenship of India, all the applicants from Meghalaya have to submit legacy documents of self, her father, her grandfather, dated period to 25th March of 1971. The listed documents to prove the legacy like NRC of 1951, electoral roll of any year, period to 1971, land documents, school certificate, birth certificate, and then marriage certificate, link certificate, etc. However, sir, as Meghalaya was created in 1972, verified copies of these documents dated period to 1971 became a problem. As a result, all applications of Meghalaya women who submitted Meghalaya documents were rejected in the final draft of NRC in the first exercise. When this issue was raised with NRC authority, they said if Meghalaya government verify the documents countersigned by appropriate authority, it will be accepted. As a result, as per bilateral discussion between Assam and Meghalaya government, it was decided that Meghalaya will issue verified and countersigned copies of documents. And sir, accordingly, all the women or applicants again submitted their required documents to the district authority in Meghalaya, and Meghalaya government, after various level of verification of all those documents and then countersigned by respective SPs of their district and submitted these documents accordingly. However, sir, it is unfortunate that this NRC authority whimsically rejected these documents issued by Meghalaya government and rejected all the names of these women from Meghalaya, including tribals and non-tribals. This rejection will have a serious consequences, like number one, these bona fide Indian citizens who are born and brought up in Meghalaya but married in Assam are overnight made deemed stateless people. And number two, now this NRC authority, they have given 120 days time to prove their citizenship in the foreigners tribunal. These foreigners tribunals are infamous for their whims and fancies, as it is almost certain that this foreigners tribunal will not admit any other documents. Hence, there is a high possibility that these women will be declared as foreigners, and immediately they will be sent to detention camp. And the construction of detention camp is going on in full swing. Already has started in various districts of Assam. It has come in the newspaper also, and then social media also. And Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, my humble and sincere request to the government and to the Chief Minister of the House, that if we don't take this matter very seriously, otherwise the women from various communities will be followed from this final draft of NRC. And I would like to put 3 suggestions which can safeguard our women from exclusion of their names in the NRC. Let Meghalaya government ask the Assam government to submit the list of Meghalaya women who submitted NRC documents verified by Meghalaya government, and then let these applicants withdraw their names. And when Meghalaya will update their names in the NRC, automatically these women will be updated their name in the NRC of Meghalaya. Number 2 points are, let Meghalaya government file an affidavit in Supreme Court, as NRC is being updated under Supreme Court's supervision, to grant a special hearing for these Meghalaya women and give specific directives to NRC authority to include their names based on the documents issued and verified by Meghalaya government. And number 3, sir, let Meghalaya government have a talk to Assam government, and all the appeals of Meghalaya women be heard in a single foreigners tribunal designated for Meghalaya applicants only, where Meghalaya government will provide all help to these women by deputing special officers and legal experts. Sir, I would like to request to know from the Chief Minister also. Recently, I have met on the 4th of September of this month, and what was the initiative has been taken with counterpart of Assam. So I would like to know in this August House.
So this is a very important motion that he has brought on the floor of the House, and people obviously also looking at what the government of Meghalaya will take regarding with this issue. It is a very important issue. The whole people in the state, around 30 lakh that we have, that expect that this is a very important. This is a very important exercise that the government will implement in our state. But sir, looking into the statement given by Union Home Minister yesterday in the Guwahati when they have the meeting, it's a very confused statement. It seemed that now while we're talking about Assam, because it didn't suit about what they want, what they expect, they have said that this is only a waste paper. It's a very serious matter, sir. And second to that, Union Home Minister have already said that NRC can be removed at any time. So the whole of the Northeast, we expect that this is a very important exercise. And use in our state, even Northeastern certain organizations have come forward and said that NRC is very important. But looking into the mind of the present union government at the center, I didn't see that this is very important to comment. Because in the mind, in the heart of Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Union Home Minister, CAB will be the top priority in the mind, only in the matter of days, only in the matter of month, that this will be brought back in the Parliament also to get passed of this bill. So regarding with this matter, I have to yesterday that I have looked into the channel very nicely regarding with the discussion there in the Guwahati. So we have 8 chief minister in the northeast. We have for Assam is in the favor of CAB. We have for Manipur of favor in the CAB. We have Tripura. We have for Sikkim and Arunachal. The 5 states, they have given a clear signal that this is only the bill that there's not a bill that it can protect the interest of those who have the ideology for the people who are coming from outside. We have to appreciate, sir, the strong statement given by Honorable Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma, that when he said that before that CAB passed, stakeholders will be taking into consideration, then consultation with all the Chief Minister of Northeast. That is very important. We appreciate his stand, but as a leader, sometimes there is a time to be diplomatic. There is a time that we cannot compromise our principle. There is a time that we have to think for the interest of the state and the people at large. We are a small community, tribal, Khasi, Jaintias and Garos. We are very less population. Unless we protect people in the state have been entrusted to the 59 MLAs who are having here at the present assembly, they thought will do the best of the best. Development will come at the second stage. Protection of our people will become at the top priority. When people is no more in the state, when people cannot protect, others will come. What is the point of having development? What's the point of having money? What's the point of others? The top priority will be our people, protection of tribal, protection of the Khasi, Jaintias and the Garos. So I'm very much happy that even after our Chief Minister, Nagaland Chief Minister, speaking in the same voice, even then that we have for Mizoram Chief Minister, they have speaking the same voice, because I could see that, like what he said, Government of India have intention to bring about CAB again in the Parliament and get it passed without any discussion, because they have a massive mandate. Even before we have for our party, Congress Party, we have for more members in the Lok Sabha. Somehow we have tried our best. Last session, and then the Lok Sabha they only get through. Bringing in the Lok Sabha, our party have, our Congress Party have tried best to oppose. But this time that the present BJP government understand they have a massive mandate. That's why, sir, regarding with the NRC, they have already been published. 90 lakh will be left out, but we could say that 90 lakh. We understand that 90 lakh, like honorable member from Merrill Bond, even Dr. Azad have already mentioned where they will go to 90 lakh. 90 lakh. It is a 119.
Exercise of NRC in Assam has drawn the attention of everyone across the nation, and in fact even beyond the borders of the country. Now what has happened is that two things have happened. One is that genuine Indian citizens are excluded in the whole process, indicating that something which probably was part of the procedure was not inconsistent with the actual exercise that should have been done. to ensure that genuine Indian citizens are not excluded. But that has happened. That is the saddest thing in as far as this exercise is concerned. Because genuine citizens also include some of the residents, some of the daughters of Meghalaya. In fact, I received a number of frantic calls from parents who had the privilege of allowing their daughters to have an holy matrimony with the grooms of the sons of Assam. And it is not only specific to the brides who have been taken from Meghalaya. All the brides taken from other states, whoever married in Assam, were all excluded. It's too much. That means there is something which is faulty in the whole exercise. Whether brides from Nagaland, brides from West Bengal, brides from Bihar, brides from Meghalaya, taking somebody's daughter and then making them foreigner. That is what has happened. So this must be taken up seriously, because it's a question of the agonizing experience of these women. So may I therefore request the government to take up this issue, explore the mechanism to ensure that we protect our daughters who have been privileged to be part of the matrimonial holy matrimony with the men of Assam. Another part is, of course, the people who are excluded and who are not genuine citizens of the country, and the ramification thereof. That's the reason why I would like to urge upon the government, we must activate our official machineries, all those machineries under the command of the government, to ensure that these who otherwise are not genuine Indian citizens and are excluded from the NRC in this whole exercise do not find their way into our state. We already have Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Act that has been referred to. Let this act be implemented immediately. At least start implementing the whole mandate of the law, and if there is any, I have been also going through the media carrying the stand of the government, exploring the need for any further improvement or amendment. First implement. Then as we implement, as we proceed, we will know where we need to further improve. Because this whole exercise of ultimately bringing this legislation into this August House has been after an exhaustive, long drawn engagement and exercise. And all the legalities, including the constitutional aspects and the possibility of the act and the capacity of this bill which has been passed and become an act to withstand the judicial scrutiny. You know, whenever we pass an act with so many provisions, we'll have to always look at that part, whether the legislation will be able to withstand the judicial scrutiny, if at all anybody subjected to. Therefore, all these aspects have to be taken into consideration. All the district task force under the mandate of the law, we have already sanctioned the post of labor inspectors. Every CNRD block have these officers, and I'm made to understand that these officers are now not in the station, not in the block headquarters. They are operating from the district headquarters. There is a mockery of the purpose of this post. So I take this opportunity to draw the attention of the government that should be corrected. All the labor, all the officers under the relevant provision, all the labor officers, labor inspectors who are posted and have been sanctioned just to fulfill the requirement of this act must be asked to be in their respective station and operate from the respective blocks. That will help us to at least see how this district task force can actually be activated and how the Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Act can be taken advantage of and put in place. This is an act which is an offshoot of the long-drawn engagement of all the civil society organizations. There are concerns that there may be some improvement, but I'm afraid any exercise to even further improve or amend need not be done in a hurry. Let this provision of this act be first implemented. Let us proceed. It is not an offshoot of the exercise of one single party. It's an offshoot of a collective endeavor and engagement. Therefore, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, this part be kept in mind, and at the same time, the overall agencies under the authority of the government. Police is one of the most important agency, organization. We already have the Meghalaya Police Act 2010, and the different mandates and the responsibilities thereof to different sections of the organizations. They should be appropriately strengthened. Officers should be put in place, and all the vacancies of this police organization need to be filled up. I was surprised to see the statement of the government that after having come to a stage where the menace of militancy and terrorism is not at that level which we saw in the preceding years, therefore there is no urgency to fill up the vacancies of police organization. That is wrong. The responsibility, the multiple responsibility of the police organization. Police organization's responsibility is not only to fight terrorism. It has its multiple responsibilities. That's why the sense of security in the minds of people is of utmost necessity. Therefore, I would like to, through this discussion, also get an assurance, categorical assurance, that these vacancies be filled up, irrespective of how much vacancies, and update the vacancies and fill up, and then strengthen all these different agencies under the government, and see that the pilferage, the after effect of this exercise in Assam does not land up pushing the foreigners to our state, and we become victim of this. That is the concern of the people of the state. That's why I think this concern will definitely draw the attention of the government of the day and get the appropriate consequent response to these challenges. With these few words, I believe I have drawn the attention of the government and will expect appropriate consequent response to these submissions.
Point is, at this moment in time, the state and the Northeast as a whole, we are being faced with the largest humanitarian crisis, where about 19 lakh people are being displaced as they cannot prove their credentials of being a citizen of this country. Sir, perhaps this alarming situation has been anticipated earlier and should not be a surprise to all of us. In fact, sir, the outcome of the exercise is expected to have wide-ranging implications on our state, as it will disturb our tribal demography if we cannot contain any attempt from those who have been left out in the list to seek refuge in our state. Sir, there are already rumors going around that people have started inhabiting some villages in the interstate border and even in few villages across the state, sir. So, sir, the topic of NRC has been discussed time and again, and we have debated upon the constitutional, legislative and administrative safeguards for our state, the tools that we have to deploy to ensure that our villages, our tribal interests, the interests of the state are protected at all costs. However, sir, even without the NRC also, we are seeing that in various villages across the state, in various polling stations, our tribal demography has already been outnumbered. We have been outnumbered, sir. In the absence of any particular system that will ensure that our tribal interests are protected. So, as our LO has already stated, it is time that we empower our tribal institutions so that we can allow them to act in the interest of our state. And a continued delay in this regard will perhaps will not enable us to restrain the inflow of people and again compromising our demography. So these loopholes have also been taken advantage of by vested interests time and again. So sir, I would like to bring to the notice of the government. On one hand, as we are trying to put in a legislative and administrative measure to control the inflow of people from outside the state, being citizens and non-citizens. So there is this system that has been started by the Election Commission now, where a listed voter can introduce, so I'll use the word in quotes, introduce, a fellow citizen so that he can be enlisted in the voters list. So in such a situation, has the government thought of scrutinizing this kind of an exercise? Do we continue to allow such kind of an exercise to happen? Because of the NRC, you know that the tools that have been utilized in the NRC exercise was one of the tools was with the electoral list of 1971, where people have used it to show the descendancy. So at this time, sir, this method taken up by the Election Commission to allow one listed voter to introduce another, I think will prove detrimental for the future of the state, sir.
The demand for the exercise of NRC has been there in Assam since last many years. The government of Assam, under the supervision of Supreme Court, started this exercise in the year 2015. So if we really look into it, we'll find out. Of the record, we came to know that the government had to spend more than in between 15,000 to 21,000 crore for this exercise. And we all know what is the motive behind this NRC. The objective of this NRC was to deport some community in the name of Bangladeshi. But at the end of the day, it did not happen. Now at this point of time, 19 lakhs have been left out from this exercise, sir. And now some strong minister of Assam, as said by Honorable MLA Sri P.T. Sapmi, is saying that this is a wastage of paper. This is of no use. Now some minister is saying that NRC is not going to serve the purpose. We all understand, sir, what is the purpose. Now they are saying that they will have to look for other purposes, other things, other machineries to serve the purpose. What I mean to say, sir, now these people, those who have been left out from the NRC, now the Assam government is going to set up 400 foreign tribunals. In one foreign tribunals, there shall be a magistrate along with 4 other manual employees. If we calculate, if we multiply, we'll find out that the Assam government shall have to engage another 2,000 employees for the exercise in FTs. Now the Assam government has given time 120 days to the people who have been left out from this exercise. Now these people will go to foreigners tribunal, and again the aggrieved party, those who will not be entertained, those who will not be able to satisfy the foreign tribunals, they shall again have the scope to go to High Court. And if the aggrieved party from the High Court, again they shall have the scope to go to Supreme Court. Such this journey from FTs, foreigners tribunal, to Supreme Court will be really a very long journey, sir. What I mean to say, sir, before our state thinks of going for NRC, we have to think, we have to see the sufferings that has been faced by the Assam government. So my submission to you and my request to all the honorable members of this august house to please think thrice before we advocate for the introduction of NRC in our state. I subscribe to the idea of the honorable members who have spoken against the CAB. I thank our Honorable Chief Minister, who has very boldly spoken several times that our government is against the idea of CAB. So we are very concerned about the infiltration. We fear that the people left out from this exercise shall be coming to our state. So for this, I, as the capacity of an MLA, I have already spoken, because sir, I am bordering to Assam. I have spoken to all the Gaungburas and other religious leaders of my area also, to have a clear eye on this, so that people from Assam, those who have been left out from the NRC, cannot come to our state and disturb us. So my submission to you is that, sir, we have to take measures as suggested by Honorable MLA from Rajaballa, Dr. Azad Zaman, that the people, the women, those who were born and brought up in our state, the brides who are married in Assam and settled there, most of them, I should say 90% of these women have been left out. My suggestion also to the government is that either we have to ask at the first point, we have to ask the Assam government for a list how many women have been left out, those who were born and brought up in Assam. Number two, sir, if at all these women have to go to FT, Fairness Tribunal, I would request the government of the day to please provide legal aid to these left out women who are Meghalayans. In number three, sir, if possible, if the law allows, I would request the government of the day to please discuss with Assam government if the applicants, those who were Meghalaya brides, if they can withdraw their petitions, and the time our state will have any kind of NRC exercise, they will be able to update their citizenship here.
So it's very important, because I had a question yesterday that was slated at question number 10, but I wasn't given the opportunity. Nevertheless, I can see in the question yesterday that the government of Meghalaya does not have any plans to implement an RC in the state. So that is clear. The second thing that I had asked was also whether or not NRC was executed in the disputed areas or areas of conflict in the interstate border. The government had said that they have no information as yet. And sir, I would just like to submit that these two questions that I asked were pertinent and important, and I would like the government to look into them. So I would like to share with you some of the readings that I made on what neighboring states of Assam have done post NRC. So Nagaland has already announced the plan to compile a register of indigenous inhabitants of Nagaland, and they've set up a committee on the 10th of July this year. So the Meghalaya Safety and Security Act was already passed in the House, but till date it has not been made operational. Like my fellow colleague from Umroi, but George has said, it's very important for us to quickly identify the empowerment, the areas where empowerment of traditional institutions have to be made. There is a big lacunae there, and we need to see that all of those lacunae are attended to and our traditional institutions are empowered to participate as one of the recording institutions for residents coming to the state. So I have also seen in media reports that NGOs and civil societies are now playing the role of vigilante. The KSU, I'm told, has set up several check gates. We need to see where this will lead and whether or not these civil societies are empowered legally to exercise their roles as vigilante organizations. We've seen that even in Mizoram, a similar group of students have taken the role because the government has not come up with any clear demarcation of redressal of probable onslaught of 19 lakh people coming to our state. So Arunachal Pradesh, there as well the students' organizations have started Operation Clean Drive. So again, we need to check and balance as to what will be the idea of the government of Meghalaya. In Manipur, again, civil society groups claim that they have already rounded up about 12 undocumented Bengali Muslim in their state. So this again is an important indicator for the state of Meghalaya. So the call for the inner line permit now is growing, maybe because of these lacunae of existing legal redressal to this problem. So we have to ensure that the state of Meghalaya takes a definitive step and also announces this definitive step to the people of the state, so that there is no confusion as to whether or not these people will somehow enter into our state and seek clemency in our state in the years to come. With these few submissions, I resume my seat, sir.
Thank you. Let's not discuss, let's not worry, let's not interfere about others. Let's do our part. This is a time we recall each and everyone. Let's not scared about the central government. Let's not scared about Assam. What we have to do is our own business. It's high time. 47 years it has been running out. Sir, I love to remind that if we leaders fail to preserve the purity of racial blood, it's thereby destroy the unity of unification in all manifestation. Sir, for me alone, myself, I no longer believe in words, but in action. It is a threat for the coming generation. We are sitting here and we claim that we are in numbers, but we are outnumbered outside. No shame at all. We are deeply worried what will be the next generation. We are wasting our time just concerned about the next election, but forgetting about the next generation. What's this about? Sir, it's a big threat for this beloved state. I'm scared because we have experienced the outsider. I mean, only the footprint, I mean the outgoing, we fail to notice the outgoing footprint, but we fully notice the incoming footprint into our state. It will surely affect the demographic structure of our beloved state. I'm here for tribal people, Khasi, Jaintia and Garo. Let's all stand unitedly. Let's fight for this another issue. Every issue is very important. The emergent call at this junction is the issue of responsibility. It's crucial. So I don't know whether you listen or not to me, but I will see in action. So, with due respect, I won't take much of my time, but let me remind three groups. One group who create things happen. Second group make things happen. And the third group, they don't know what has happened. What had happened. Let's ask ourselves, in which of these three groups are we belong? So we want a solution for this issue. It is a crucial issue for each and every one of us. So my suggestion to my own government, because why? The existing laws is totally fail in all respect, in all aspect, I mean to say. It's totally fail. Let's not deny the fact. That's why it's an emergent It's an urgent need of the hour. The government, please take serious note on this. Call it institutional, traditional, to work together, because this will relate with the influx, and also invite the Dorbar, these two, Dorbar, Kabri Nyotrap, and also comprising all in Meghalaya, and the other one, Dorbar, means a Dorbar clan, which I mean to say. So it is high time, because why? After these people are getting inside, they are snatching our right. If we talk about trade, if we talk about marriage,
5 minutes is exhausted,
and they are on the way to snatch politically. So I won't take much time. Thank you so much for this privilege.
Conclude your speech now.
Thank you. I will conclude this my speech, and I would like to remind that if we can eradicate militancy in a state, why not eradicate influx, drugs, and other issues? Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. Thank you.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, just one submission only. I won't take 1 minute also. Sir, last time I had already written to Home Minister also, to the Union Home Minister, and even to the state also, regarding the entry of 32 non-residents Muslim in my constituency in Mebetpara. Till that I have not got the response, either from the Union Ministry, neither from the state government also. 32 household Muslims who has got the EPIC card along with the that mega health insurance. Till that I have not got any response, whether they belong to the state or they have been misplaced, or from where they came from, I don't know. But they have got the EPIC card along with the mega health insurance, which is a very serious threat at this juncture. So I just would like to give a submission to the government to kindly look into this matter, and then at least respond whether they belong to the state of Meghalaya or whether they belong from the outside of the Meghalaya.
Okay.
But they don't, 110%, they doesn't belong to my constituency, neither from my that polling station. That is Mebetpara, Mebetpara polling station under Gambegre constituency, Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. So I need a response for that particular, how did they got this EPIC card and along with the mega health insurance scheme? Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, at the very outset, I thank the Honourable Member for bringing the discussion under the caption Pincline Pulit Pahara Ka Sarkar Jilla Minta Un Pinme Ka Sarkar Assam Ya Ka Tuk Ki Kirteng Haka NRC, appearing in the newspaper of Nongsan Hima dated 31st August 2019. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Honourable Member Shri P.T. Sokme, the Honourable Leader of Opposition, Dr. Mukul Sangma, Shri George Lingto, Honourable Member from Pumroy, Shri Samur Muminin, Honourable Member from Pulbari, Mrs. Amperin Lingto, Honourable Member from Laimukra, Mr. Edelbert Nongrum, Honourable Member from North Shillong, and Mr. Saling Sangma, our Honourable Member from Gambegre, for having participated. It will not be any more a short discussion, a very, very long discussion, I must say, that was held today. Sir, I would like to, for the benefit of all our members, first give a small background on how things have been and what are the steps that have been taken by the government to address these concerns. So there were strong concerns that neighboring states, especially Meghalaya, would have to bear the fallout on the release of the final National Register of Citizens data by the Assam government on August 31st, 2019, in which, as per reports, had excluded about 19 lakh persons. In fact, after the publication of the draft NRC on July 30th, 2018, the then Deputy Inspector General of Police, CID, was appointed as nodal officer for dealing with matters relating to impact and likely fallout of the ongoing updation of National Registrar of Citizens in Assam and infiltration arising there from into areas of Meghalaya district. The nodal officer, coordinating with all district superintendents of police to monitor the situation closely on a daily basis and to collate data in terms of existing check gate of infiltration, new check gate formed in the district, location of new check gates, and a number of persons being pushed back along with details on a daily basis. In addition to the above, the nodal officer also functions as a licensing authority with the Assam Police. The Deputy Inspector General of Police Security, Meghalaya, Shillong, has been appointed as a Chief Nodal Officer in matters relating to National Registrar of Citizens. After declaration of NRC in Assam on 31st/8/2019, the government has alerted all field units to maintain strict vigil on a 24 hours basis. Instructions were issued to conduct checking comprehensively and not to allow anyone coming in from Assam without sufficient proof of documents. The checkposts, check gates at the key entry points bordering the Assam have been posted with adequate manpower with the following actual strengths. Ratachara CP with 3 SIs with 8 Cs 2, Head Constables 2, UB 7 Constables. In Clariat CP, SIs 2, Head Constables 3 and UB Constable 6. In Dainadubi, Sub-Inspector 1, UBs 4. In Banihat, Sub-Inspector 2, Head Constables 3, UBs 7 and ABCs 3. In Aradonga CP, Sub-Inspectors 1, UB Constables 3. In Nenkra, Sub-Inspector 1, UB Constable 2. So besides the above mentioned checkposts and check gates, the following additional checkpoints have also been set up in different districts to be manned on a daily basis. Apart from Banihat, Patharkama, Maulosnai area, Umxiang area, Umkiang, Lumshnong, Clariat, Ladrimbai, Mokurwat, Ranikor, Nonghalam, Putkro, Laila Junction, Bagli Road, Manikganj, Dainadubi, Kharkutta, Sakware, Adokri, Thapadaringchi, Berubari, Swalmari, Bajingdoba, Mirjumla, Jungjungi area. The following instructions were given to the district superintendents of police and infiltration special squads. Number 1, all district superintendents of police have been directed to liaise with the local headmen and to activate VDPs in all villages with instructions to provide information on any attempt of infiltration of illegal immigrants in their villages and if there are any unknown individuals coming into the village. Number 2, infiltration special squad present in all districts have been directed to conduct enumeration of villages and submit an enumeration report every month as a precautionary step in detecting infiltrators. Number 3, all district SPs have been directed to provide a contact number of responsible officers posted in the district who shall liaise with the NGOs in sharing information in case of infiltration of outsiders. Number 4, the concerned district SPs have also been directed to issue orders to all ICs and OCs of respective jurisdiction to be alert and maintain strict vigil in their respective areas. Number 5, all district SPs have been directed to depute 1 gazetted officer from each district to monitor and supervise the daily activities of the above checkpoints. Each district has a special police squad of infiltration branch to regularly conduct anti-infiltration drives in the districts in collaboration with the district magistrates, labor department and district police. After the final draft declaration of NRC in Assam on 31st of August 2019, the following detections were made. Barnihar total 114, Dainadubi total 66, Ratachera total 5, Cleriat total 3. Till date, there are total of 223 outsiders detected, and they were sent back directly to their place of origin since they could not produce original valid documents. They are advised to bring valid documents as and when they visit the state. So the state government, so apart from these issues, there were individual issues that have been raised by many of the honorable members who are present here today. I will try to address some of the concerns that have been mentioned. And of course, the mover of this particular short discussion, Mr. Azad, who is the honorable MLA from Rajabala, has raised a lot of issues regarding the people who have been left out in the NRC, especially our women and the daughters who have, as was mentioned, got married and gone to Assam. And he had met me a couple of days, in fact last week, sorry. He had met me immediately when this issue came up and presented a small memorandum and gave different suggestions on how we could move forward in that. And I'm happy to inform him that accordingly I have spoken to my counterpart in Assam, and of course this matter is being examined. I must tell you that it is not as simple as maybe we want to do it, but the government of Assam as well as the government of Meghalaya is very much committed to this issue, and obviously it will be our endeavor to ensure that our people who are genuine citizens of the state are not at all affected in this. But yes, it is a very complicated process. It's a process that has gone through a lot, and now to redo or undo the whole thing will be another process which is going to take time. But I can assure you that from the government side we will do all that we can to try and find a way forward in this. A lot of members had mentioned about the issues regarding the NRC Act. NRC Act. NRC in Meghalaya State. Sir, I would like to mention out here that the citizenship, naturalization and aliens is entry 17 in list 1 of 7th schedule of Constitution. It means that on the subject of citizenship, central government alone has power to make laws. State government has no power to make such laws, sir. So therefore, sir, the state government has no legislative competence to make any law on NRC and citizenship. Therefore, state government has no executive power to bring NRC in Meghalaya, sir. And that is the current status, and that is the reason why the answer to the honorable member's question from Laimukra, she mentioned that the government is planning to put up or not. So the reason is that the constitutional provisions are very clear, and it is a subject that is very much within the purview of the central government, and it's in the union list. Apart from that, so there were many concerns about the Residency Act. Was mentioned many times. So before I get to that, Mr. Chairman, sir, I think let me put a lot of things in perspective. Number one, sir, this issue of NRC is something that we all are concerned about. I can assure you that the government of Meghalaya, the MDA government, every single MLA in the government, and I'm sure also in the opposition, is equally concerned about this issue, sir. And from our side, many times, whenever the opportunity has been given to me, I have raised this issue at Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I have raised this issue at the central level as well as with the counterparts, with my counterpart in Assam, about the fallout of the NRC as a whole. So therefore, it's I know that a lot of emotions were running high, and a lot of people are concerned about this. I only want to assure you that as much as you are concerned, we also are equally concerned, and this is regarding our people and our state. And it is something that we all need to work together to ensure that we can find the best way forward to find a solution and also find a way in which we can protect our people. And that is why I think what the Leader of Opposition mentioned in his speech regarding the Residency Act. And I think
he put the things in perspective in the sense that this Residency Act is an act which came out after a lot of deliberation. And I think this act has been implemented. A lot of people were questioning that when are we going to implement it? Why aren't we implementing it? I want to inform the House that the act has been implemented. In fact, all the different task force have been created, and they have been briefed on what should be done. But yes, the government has now started on working out a mechanism and procedure on how we could sensitize maybe the different stakeholders. And that is a process that we need to go forward with. Sensitization of different Rangbashnongs, headmen of villages, and even civil society on what are the different ways and means that they could participate in ensuring that we'll be able to ensure that the particular provisions of this act are implemented. And having said that, sir, the government is exploring, and after discussion with many different organizations, with discussion with different leaders, there is a desire and there is a request from a lot of corners that maybe the Residency Act can be strengthened, and maybe the Residency Act can be given more teeth. And once again, I think it is important to note that it is a balance that we need to strike. And here the balance is in between keeping the interest of our people, number one, in our mind, protecting our people and our state in number one. Number two, adhering to the constitutional provisions and acts of the government so that they are legally binding, as was mentioned by the Leader of Opposition. That's number two. And number three concern here is to ensure that genuine citizens, genuine people who are coming into this state with genuine interest and genuine concerns should not be harassed. So I think the importance of ensuring that these laws come into place and the amendments are done in a proper manner is to balance out these three aspects. So therefore, we are consulting, and a lot of people have been asking us that we should move forward. But I think an act like this, which needs to be looked into, must be discussed in detail. And as I said, a good balance between these three aspects must be kept in mind before we go ahead with the amendment. But I want to inform the House that our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister and myself and other legislators have had series of meetings and discussions with many stakeholders in regards to this issue, and we are working very, very hard to ensure that and to find a way forward by balancing these three aspects on how we could strengthen the provisions of the Citizen Residency and Residency Act of the Meghalaya State Government. Sir, regarding, then there were a number of issues that were raised regarding the Election Commission provisions. So as you know, that Election Commission is an autonomous body, and then it will be a constitutional body, and it's something that we could of course write to them and ask, but then it will be not possible for us to give any kind of commitment on the floor of this House that I'll be able to change these aspects. But it's something that concern has been raised by the Honorable MLA, so definitely we will examine the matter and see how we could take it forward. At the same time, I think the concerns that were mentioned by the Honorable MLA from Gambegri regarding the people who have moved into his constituency, we are told, and I remember him mentioning this to me last time, and accordingly the police department had been asked and the local administration had been asked to look into it. I must say I do not have the details with me right now on what the status of that is, but let me assure the member that I will find out and I will personally inform him regarding this particular very, very important issue that is there. And I would encourage all the other members that if there are such situations that are happening in your constituency in any particular area that you have come to know, detailed information the way the honorable member has given would help us. And I think a general statement is something that is very difficult to act on. A lot of members said that we're getting information that people are coming in and are settling. These are informations that could just be a statement that was made by somebody. I'm not saying that we take it lightly, but a general statement like that, it doesn't allow us to really take a very, very specific action against it. But if you get specific information, specific intel of these things happening in a particular village or a polling station, then that would be much better. And I think, as was mentioned by so many members out here today, especially from Maulai and from North Shillong, that this is an issue that is beyond politics. This is an issue that really concerns our people. And I think we need to work as a team. This is about our people and our state, which is really what the primary purpose of each one of us being here is. So therefore, I thank them for giving a very positive note in that we must work together. And I can assure you from my side that we as a government are very much ready to work together when especially an issue like the fallout of the NRC comes into picture and our mind. There were a lot of issues that were raised regarding the Citizen Amendment Bill, and I think we have made many statements yesterday. We had a very, very good meeting with all the chief ministers of the Northeast, and a lot of these issues discussed out there regarding CAB also, regarding the future of this amendment, that in case this comes in, is this going to be an open invitation to anybody to come in for as long as they want? Is this going to be an amendment that's going to be free for all, or is there going to be some kind of a system which is going to be controlled? There were concerns about the fact that whether the government of India would simply pass anybody as a citizen and not even ask the state government. So is the state government going to be involved? Will there be a process through which the state government will be asked to give the clearance and the NOC? These are concerns that we have. So as was mentioned, that government India is reaching out and discussing with all the state governments, especially the Northeast, and trying to address the concerns that we have. What about the Residency Act? So tomorrow, if the government goes ahead with CAB, what will happen to Residency Act? What will happen to the ILP that is there in Nagaland? What will happen to other acts that are there in other parts of the state? And if tomorrow Meghalaya government comes out with some other act, how will it be in terms of the CAB, which the union government has been talking about? So therefore, these were concerns that were there, and it was a very positive discussion where the Home Minister himself and the government has given us an assurance that whatever the decision is made is going to be in consultation with the state governments. It is going to be in consultation with the different organizations and NGOs, that they will call all civil society, they will call the state governments and discuss in detail and ensure that we can find some way that is going to ensure that our concerns are addressed, at the same time their objective or their particular tasks or their particular objectives are met. So I think this balance in this discussion that is being done is very positive aspect, and let me assure the House that obviously we will always keep the interests of our state and the interest of our people and top priority, and ensure that whatever way we move forward is going to ensure that the concerns of the state and the concerns of the people are always kept in mind. So there are many other issues that was mentioned. I think Honorable Leader of Opposition had mentioned about certain recruitments which were pending in the police department, and I think it is a very valid point that has been mentioned by him, but I must inform the House that the recruitment board in fact has moved very aggressively, and many recruitments have taken place, and many of them are in the process. In fact, there are a number of SIs who are going to be joining very soon. Their training is going to be complete, and they'll be joining very soon. And there are other recruitments also, other positions that are lying vacant, which will be, which also are in the process. And yes, the point that police is not just for the aspect of the insurgency which is there, but maintaining law and order is one of the primary tasks of any state government. So therefore, it is a priority for us also, and the suggestions of the LO and the suggestions of all the other members who have mentioned. I'm sorry if I could not touch on all of them, but I can assure you that all those members that have given their points, we have noted those points, and we will definitely examine all the suggestions that have been given by all the honorable members. With these few words, sir, once again let me assure the House that we as a government are concerned about these issues, and we have taken many steps to ensure that there's a check in the infiltration or check in the movement, especially in the border areas. And I must congratulate all the officials, especially our superintendents of police, the police department, the DIGs and the field officers who have been working tirelessly to ensure that these kind of incidents and these kind of movements are not allowed, and no illegal immigrant is allowed to come into our state. At the same time, I know that a lot of civil society has been taking a lot of initiative and have been informing us, have been providing us intel, have been discussing with us. It's a very welcome move. But at the same time, I would urge all the civil society that no matter how passionate they are about this, there are certain things that the government must do, and I urge them that certain things which the administration and the government is looking at and working on are areas that must be left to the administration and the police and the government. And but we do look forward to their suggestions, and we do look forward to their participation, and especially the information and intel which they will be able to provide us, which will allow us to act in a much more specific and and a positive manner, sir. So with these few words, I hope I was able to address a few of the concerns. I know there are many concerns, and a subject like this cannot truly be completely neutralized, because it is a very, very serious and very emotional issue. But I tried my best, and I hope that I could satisfy the members. And with that and a few clarifications, I come to my conclusion, and I would like to resume my seat. Thank you, sir.
Now, here are a few things why I say that this implementation of the act which we have passed here, Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Act, after a long drawn, exhaustive exercise, is that, you see, we have to look at the timing. 2020 September, as per the intent of Government of India, is the deadline for completing the whole exercise for National Population Register, 2020 September. Okay, this is based on the citizenship, registration of citizens and issue of National Identity Cards rules 2003. So this NPR will ultimately result into NRIC, National Register of Indian Citizens, which is the pan-India version of our Assam's NRC. So therefore, this provision of this act, which involves the local authorities, our traditional institutions, will help us in filtering the genuine residents and otherwise. That's why kindly take due cognizance of what is going to happen. Time is running out. Therefore, let us activate this implementation of this act and see wherever we need to improve. We'll be there with the government, because at the end of the day, our intention is to protect the interests of the indigenous people of the state. The whole purpose of this act is to achieve that objective. So I think because of the timing, please see that notification of task force and all were done long time ago, but then further course of action is required.
As we all know that so many women has been left out, just the list of women, whether government have, if not, I request the government of the day to ask the total number of women, how many left out from Meghalaya, village wise.
Actually, whatever we do, it's the discipline which is lacking, and then there is always a loophole. You talk about the residential act, you talk about any act, because what I'm concerned is that how come these people has got the document, the valid document itself. Now these people will be producing this valid document to the other parts of the district. So these are the loopholes that we have to look at. It's the discipline only. We are not having a discipline in any of the department. So I would like to request our Chief Minister to take it note this particular very seriously. Any act or any rule that we will pass, if the principle is not followed religiously, then again there will be lots of loopholes again, because these people, how come they got the documentation itself? It was shocking for me, sir, because these are non-tribals from the outside, and we have not known these people. They don't stay in my place, but they have got the document. Now where they are, we don't know, but they have got the genuine document. So they are taking advantage of the inexperience and the backwardness of the Meghalaya itself. So I would like at least discipline to be placed in.